It's important obviously for kids to learn how to swim, and if you can make them enjoy it while they're doing it, you've more chance of getting them to do what it is you want them to do. And the way Starfish teach them, they love it.
Summer's registered blind. She's got a degenerative eye condition, and for her actually to go into water, because she's got no perception of depth, it's a big thing for her. So, and they dealt with that very well.
All the children come with different abilities, and Starfish have worked alongside the school to establish a good programme for the children to develop those key skills within swimming.
It's such a good resource for children with disabilities in this area. George has a diagnosis of autism, and they've been absolutely fantastic with him. He was terrified of getting in the water. Now he jumps in with confidence. He's just doing really, really well.
We've tried other swimming lessons and swimming clubs for him before, but because of his condition he's got a really rare chromosome disorder, and on the side of that he's got epilepsy, and he's also got global developmental delay. And once we've tried, Starfish was recommended to us by friends, so we gave it a whirl, and it's just the way they teach the kids individually, but they also do it like a social aspect as well.
There's a huge area of benefits for aquatic therapy, whether you want it to be hydrotherapy or learning to swim. In a pool, it ranges from cognitive benefits, so things like problem solving, increased confidence, giving the children an experience of taking responsibility for their own health really, and health decisions in the future. It can increase mood, it can prevent childhood obesity and other comorbidities that come along with that, like diabetes and things like that.
It's invaluable really. I've got the three of them, they're all autistic, and we find it's a real issue with the short breaks for us to access anything as a family really, and Starfish Swimming is the only thing that we can come on with all three of them that can cater to all of the needs.
We tried local authority swimming before and they just didn't engage him at all. In a 30-minute lesson he might go across do a width maybe twice, 3 times, and because he's on the autistic spectrum disorder, he needs to be engaged.
He'd had over 3 years of local authority provision and was just lost in the system. He stayed in the same group every time and moved around, well, wasn't moved around, just rolled on each time the lessons changed, and wasn't really getting very far. Since he's been here, so he's been here about 14 months now, he has come on more than in the 3 years that he was in local authority provision.
I think within what Starfish promotes, it's very individualised. There's not many businesses out there who promote such wealth experience, expertise within areas which I deal with children with complex needs, so very much so it's something that we have to tap into, and it's something that's very much paramount within the local community which we work in. So definitely I think it's something that's very much we need as a niche that it needs to be explored more into.
When he started, he literally could do 10 minutes in a pool, and at the end of the 10 minutes he would cry because his muscles would ache. He has very low muscle tone, he didn't have much energy, he didn't particularly enjoy doing the lengths and the widths, but over time and persevering, he's now just got his 200 metre badge, and being able to go to our church assembly on a Friday morning and sit there and watch him hold up his little certificate that he's so very proud of is just absolutely phenomenal to me as a parent. I'd spoke to other parents and they all recommended here, and I knew that they'd got children with additional needs as well, and they just sung the praises. So it was a big factor, and the fact that Amelia could swim at the same time as well, just for a family, worked perfectly.
I was really scared about swimming because I'd gone to an able-bodied swim school before, and we'd encountered quite a few problems. But we found Starfish, I think, through the Child Development Centre at our hospital, and we started coming here. I started off in one-to-one, and then I steadily moved up and managed to move through and eventually get to my gold. As part of my Duke of Edinburgh, which is why I'm here, I could always volunteer at Starfish. So when my Duke of Edinburgh started up, I asked if I could volunteer here, and that's how I started.
We've brought her more for the social aspect, as well as learning to swim because she had a fear of water anyway, but it was more social because she struggles with social skills.
It's just a really nice sort of environment. Their ethos about inclusion. Lots of places have an ethos about inclusion, but they don't follow it through. This is a place where you can see where it's followed through.
We started in 2008. We've got funding from the local authorities, so that helped us to grow. But then, as your reputation grows, the amount of funding that you get doesn't grow with your reputation. So the amount of funding that we receive compared to the amount of children that actually attend is extremely minimal.
They're an essential activity really for any parent that's got a child that's on the autistic spectrum, because nowhere else would ever be able to cope with the sort of like issues that people like my son have got. And they've been absolutely brilliant at getting his confidence built up and progressive, so they've just helped him immensely.
It's not about if you've got a disability, you try and get into mainstream as much as their disability will let them. It's not about because they've got a special need disability, we've got to push them off to one side. We try and integrate them into the classes rather than having just a disability class.
It's child-centred and what the child needs. If he's finding a group that's in a group, if it's 2-to-1, 1-to-1, whatever's required, that's what the child gets.
We need the funding for it to be able to continue, because if we don't have the funding, there's no way as a small business we can sustain the costs of what we do.
Every child matters, and we will get every child up to their goal. It's not like that anywhere else, I don't think. I don't think there's anywhere like Starfish.
Every child matters. Simple. Every child matters.